What is a customer worth? This is Nance Rosen, and we're about to dig deep into customer valuation theory and practices. Getting a fix on what a customer is worth meets several mission-critical goals in an organization. First, you can act according to what's profitable. For example, if a retail outlet buys lots of your products for resale to its consumers, and the retailer typically buys at your standard discount of 20% for quantity orders, pays its bills in 10 days to get an additional 2% discount, checks your inventory, and orders through your enterprise resource planning system online, well, this retailer appears to be a highly valuable customer. You would want to check in regularly with the retailer's buyer, department heads, and even the CEO to make sure everything is as smooth as it looks with such a valuable and profitable customer. You'd also ask about the retailer's sense of future trends so you can make sure you've got the right products in development. You would also ask people in your own company or your CRM software, how many profitable customers like this do we have? When you know the value of specific customers, you can put them in a hierarchy of importance. You want to serve the most valuable customers with the most attention. You want to nurture customers with the potential to buy more. You also are curious about the less valuable and least valuable customers. Why aren't these people buying more from you? And why aren't they buying it more profitably for you? If you aren't getting the total share of wallet, everything these customers are spending in categories where you compete, you want to know why. Perhaps you would find ways to be a more attractive vendor. With that, you can tier your services, create the right incentives, and run your business more profitably with more revenue coming in and less returns, defects, or complaints. You also can direct your sales force to search for more ideal customers since you profiled them and even know how they found you. It's relatively easy to measure the value of a customer if all the information you need has been collected, organized, and put into one system, or you can reach it on a dashboard like you see on most enterprise-based CRM software solutions. However, you may not have that available at each company you join. So let's look at what data you do need and might have to dig for. Talking to the sales force, veteran department managers, the accounting and finance department heads, or the business owner and customers themselves all help generate data or color it. Primary metrics are customer lifetime value, what a customer will contribute over the time period they continue to buy from you, and cost of acquisition, how much you have to spend to attract a new customer. It's also useful to know the conversion rate for various marketing and social media programs. For example, how many new customers were obtained from a specific ad, email, or field marketing campaign? Other metrics include defection rate, how often your company loses customers, along with share of wallet, how much your company is getting from a customer versus your competition, and market share, which is what portion of qualified customers are purchasing from you versus your competition. These metrics all lead you to understand how much revenue you are taking in and can forecast. Of course, you need to know all the expenses associated with gaining and serving clients so you can deduct them from all the revenue you bring in. That's how you know which customers are truly profitable. Later in our course, we'll see CRM software presentations where you'll learn that all of these metrics are best automated so you don't have to break out your calculator. For now, however, we don't know if you'll be with or without CRM software. So let's see what constitutes the customer lifetime value, the CLV, sometimes referred to as the CLTV. We'll start with the RFM model developed by George Cullinan about 70 years ago. Cullinan was working for a general merchandise catalog company when he developed this model. Some iteration of it has been used by thousands of retailers and e-tailers. Typically, it's customized, but we're going to use a standard one for e-tailing or retailing general consumer goods like apparel, jewelry, household knickknacks, and the like. The RFM in the RFM model stands for recency, frequency, and monetary value. Each of these three factors is weighted for relative importance in the valuation of each customer. The data set we're going to use shows the last 24 months of behavior for three customers. We'll call them customer A, B, and C. Here's some intelligence behind each of the RFM variables. The recency schema. How recent was the purchase? 20 points if the transaction occurred in the last 3 months. 10 points in the past 6 months. 5 points in the past 9 months. 3 points if within the past 12 months. 1 point if the purchase was in the past 24 months. The frequency schema. How often was a purchase made? You take the number of purchases in the last 24 months, multiply it by 4 points each, with a maximum of 20 points. The monetary value schema. How much did the customer spend? You take the dollar volume of purchases within 24 months, multiply them by 10% with a maximum of 20 points. Further weighting is given to recency, thus it is multiplied by 5, frequency multiplied by 3, and purchase multiplied by 2. Thus, recency is weighted at 50%, frequency at 30%, and monetary value at 20%. Now, let's see how the data plays out for customers A, B, and C. Look at their purchases and see how the RFM model calculates their value. The resulting cumulative scores, 202 for customer A, 79 for B, and 280 for C, produce a potential preference for customer C. Based on C's RFM history, a greater number of promotional dollars, such as sending colored catalogs or inviting customer C to a sponsored event in its region, well, that all could be justified. Customer A deserves some marketing love as well, though this customer isn't as reliable as C. Customer B was perhaps a one-time fling. Of course, revenue is one thing and profitability is another. Oftentimes you think you have a really great customer because he spends the most money or buys the most goods or services. However, when you inspect the expenses, marketing budget items, cost of goods, labor wages, financing, and overhead, you might be surprised that Mr. Big is actually costing you money. You need to dig deep into analytics because it might be that smaller customers are actually paying your bills and subsidizing Mr. Big. Some key metrics are acquisition rate by percentage equals 100 multiplied by the number of prospects acquired divided by the number of prospects targeted. Acquisition cost by dollar per prospect acquired equals the marketing expense or other acquisition spending like sales force compensation, divided by the number of prospects acquired, also known as conversions. Retention rate. How long does a customer stay? You would take one period of time, perhaps the last 12 months, and look back to the previous 12 months to see how many customers continued to make purchases. In this case, the defection rate would be the number that did not reappear in the subsequent 12 months. What hasn't been quantified until recently are the three other factors that increase the value of a customer, even a former customer. These three factors are a customer's social media influence, collaboration on new products or services, and participation in forums that troubleshoot other customers' problems. In the online social environment, an evangelizing, influential customer is worth a great deal. Contrast a loyal customer who evangelizes about your brand to 3,000 friends or followers versus a lone wolf kind of customer who never talks about you. Consider, too, your trendsetters, early adopters, and collaborator types of customers. These people or companies are actively engaged in developing new uses for your products or services, which saves you research and development costs. For example, the Lego Company has several adult Lego user groups that constantly come up with valuable, ready-to-market product ideas. Lego values these people so much, they formalize discovery groups by areas of interest and deputize some volunteers to facilitate the groups. Lastly, a particularly valuable customer is the know-it-all or fixer. These are people who not only become experts on your products or services, they answer newbies and other confounded user questions on crowdsourced sites or company forums. Know-it-alls love sharing their knowledge and expertise, which happens to save your company countless technical support hours. In summary, get metrics on everything you can. For example, consider how much it would cost for tech support to step up if that know-it-all customer weren't helping for free. Or add up the marketing costs you would incur if your busy bee social media customers weren't spreading your news by word of mouth. And remember those collaborators, the motivated customers who are articulating new product ideas for your R&D department, reducing some market research costs too. Those insights tell you what your customers are worth, along with the more common metrics about purchase history.